Okay. Hello everyone, welcome to another tier list video for 2023. Before we start, I just want to say, plug in real quick, I have another channel called Black Hudson. It's where I talk about nerdy stuff on the live stream. Usually that live stream is either called Garbage Take or Anime on the Rocks, or me and my friend Peter just review nerdy stuff, talk about nerdy stuff, review the latest comic book movie stuff, and yeah, so make sure to check that out. But without further ado, this is my 2023 list. This is just kind of a personal diary for me where I would rank stuff because I know this doesn't get a lot of views, but I like doing it, and if other people want to watch it, that's great too. So without further ado, I have some organization here. So from the Louis Capone documentary that I watched with my girlfriend to The Little Mermaid, which I also watched with my girlfriend, this is all the 2023 stuff. So if you only care about that stuff, stay tuned in. And everything else is just like movies I've watched in general. So I've watched like 59 movies so far this year. Yeah, so then after that, we have like the Enola Holmes 2, which is yeah. And then we have the classic movies, and then we have like more of the action / drama section. Then we have sci-fi. Then we have the A24 films. Then we get into horror, and then superhero movies, superhero animated movies, and then just animated movies in general. And that's where we leave it off. So yeah, and then I have a rule for God tier. I believe I only put. Let me double check. Make sure to edit this out. So I'm only allowing top 5 movies in God tier. These 5 are what I think is great. So I'll either have 5 of them by the end of this that I made by myself through the video, or after everything's said and done, I may reorganize stuff so that I have a top 5 there. And that could change with the latter half of the year at the end of the year. So make sure to stay tuned for the final version at the end of the year. All right, without further ado, let's just get this thing started. Just to go over the subject lines real quick. Not my thing. It's just not my thing, so I can't really judge it because I don't care either way about it. Nope just means it's really bad. Nope, not good means it's not good, but it's not terrible. Nope is terrible. Fine, it's just like it's average. It's fine. Great, meaning like, oh, this is really good. I like this. Highly recommend, obviously, self-explanatory. Highly recommend. And then God tier, top 5 movies that I've seen so far this year. So without further ado, let's get into the Louis Capone. I'm not even going to waste time. Not my thing. My girlfriend was really into it, and I think we basically made a deal where it was like, oh, if I want to watch something, then you get to pick something, and that was her pick. I forgot what my pick was. It's somewhere in here, but I probably won't remember what it was. And then we have John Mulaney's Baby J. I actually saw this entire set live in New York with my good buddy Joe. I think this is great. I really like John Mulaney. He's not everyone's cup of tea, but he's very funny. He goes over a lot about his rehab and stuff that he faced, but he does it in a comical way. It's like the darkest I've ever seen John Mulaney, and it's honestly like a kind of like he's doing something different. So I really do appreciate that. So John Mulaney, Baby J. Okay, maybe there's some artistic integrity with this movie. I just don't see it. I know a movie reviewer, I don't remember his name off the top of my head, like really like this movie. And I get it. It is meant to give you like a gut punch and like to make you feel disgusted, but like it goes a little too far, and not like in gore sense, but just like in disturbingness, in like a like what was this movie about? It was about nothing. I tried to think about it in my head, and then someone came up with a theory. I'm like, that's stupid. Like this movie's just a misery show to watch, and I just don't like it. Yeah. Then we have The Evil Dead Rise. This is the latest in the Evil Dead reboot franchise. This movie did pretty well, honestly, in the box office, and basically what Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi said was that they're going to keep making Evil Dead movies like every 5 years. Whether they're connected or not, who knows? But I think they're really good. It's really good body horror and really good gore and practical effects. There's a lot of practical effects in this movie, and they are done very, very well. I love the Evil Dead movies. They're such quality because, like, with Friday the 13th, Scream, and like Nightmare on Elm Street, they just kept pumping out sequels, and each sequel got worse and worse and worse. Whereas Evil Dead is very like spread out throughout, when they made the movies and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't think there's a single bad Evil Dead movie. I'm going to put this on great. I thought it was great. I thought it was a very good time. If you like horror, it is a damn good time. Then we have Scream 6. I'm going to put not good. I wasn't a big fan of this one. I kind of predicted the ending, and it just felt like like a Disney Channel original movie, but like levels of acting and like just like a bare bones plot. It was cool how it homaged like all the other Screams that came before it and stuff, but the problem with Scream movies is they're never going to be good as the first Scream. They're just going to be retreads of Scream. The opening was cool, but besides that, it didn't really stick with me. I didn't really like it all that much. Yeah, and I don't really like how. I don't like how the Scream franchise is always connected. You know, like it has to be connected to a character, a legacy character, or something like that. Like, go off and do your own fucking thing. All right, next up is John Wick 4. Ooh, baby. Okay, this is my second favorite John Wick. We'll get to my favorite later on. But goddamn, this movie was so much fun. It's like 3 hours, but it barely feels like it. Keanu doesn't say more than like 400 words, but who the fuck cares? Like, it's so entertaining and good, and the fight choreography is just awesome, and the cinematography is great. It's amazing. I'm gonna put it in highly recommend as of right now, but maybe that'll change into God tier pretty soon. I'm a big fan of these movies, but I also recognize that you're not really there for the plot. You're there for the action and stuff, but it still has more effort than, say, like a Fast and the Furious movie where it's like, what if the cars went to space? Like, it has a lot more going on with it. Keanu's an awesome physical acting performance. He does most of his stunt work, and he just seems like a nice guy. And these movies are really good. And John Wick 5 is announced, which I won't say the ending of John Wick 4, but what's up? What's up with that? But yeah, so John Wick 4, awesome. Highly recommend. If you like any action movies, you got to watch the John Wick franchise, and especially 4. But yeah. And then we had Creed 3. Now, unfortunately, Jonathan Majors is something in hot water. I'm not going to address that in this because, quite frankly, it doesn't matter. I will say, prior to me knowing anything about the Jonathan Majors thing, his acting was really good in this. Michael B. Jordan's acting, and like the two of them just bump heads and have great chemistry with each other in this. And like some of the shots are shot like anime fights, which is really cool. And I think it's probably my favorite Creed, honestly, which is just unfortunate. But, we can't predict people's choices and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm not going to get into it. But, yeah, Creed 3 was really good. I would say I'm going to put it on top of great. I thought it was really good. I thought it was great. I think everyone should see the Creed movies and stuff. But obviously watch them in chronological order. But yeah, no, Creed is good. And it has no Rocky involvement whatsoever. I think Creed has evolved as a character. But this one seemed to cap off the Creed franchise. So I don't know where the Rocky series or anything like that goes from there. But I'm interested to see what happens next. Then we have Dungeons and Dragons, the new one, which Twitter hyped up so much. And yes, there was a practical effect there with the eagle guy, and he was cool and stuff. This is not good. I enjoyed Scream more. It's just like dumb action, and the reason why people are excited about it is just because it's like, oh, it's, you know what, I'm a little harsh. It's fine. It's just fine. It's just a generic action movie. The humor is like meh, and it's just a whole bleh. It's nothing. It's not bad. It's just bleh. There's no feeling or emotions I get from this, except ooh, it's a fun time and stuff. And maybe for Dungeons & Dragons fans, they like see this and it's like, oh, this is the movie I've always wanted and stuff. For me, I was just like, I'm kind of upset. I want my money back. Like, I don't know. Anyways, moving on to the Super Mario movie. Here we go, right here. This movie is just a kids movie. Chris Pratt's performance didn't distract me as I thought it would. Charlie Day did a really good job. The Peaches song is a little overrated. Just like there's no real thought to it. It's like Peaches, Peaches, Peaches. Like okay. Jack Black still does an amazing performance as Bowser, though. He kind of steals this show. It's just weird celebrity voice acting. Like Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong was really distracting, and whoever played the Grumpy Kong, the Grandpa Kong, that was really distracting as well. And there's no plot. It's just like, here's this, here's that. Do you remember this? It's like, if you ever seen the South Park meme, like, remember berries? That's all this is. Like, remember Mario Kart? Remember Mushroom? Like, that's about it. And some of the humor landed, most of it didn't. It's just a generic kids movie. There's nothing really to it. It's the greatest Illumination movie, but their track record is really shit, so that's not saying much. Super Mario Bros. It was just remember this, and that's it. Like, there's nothing artistic to it whatsoever. It's just a giant corporate machine, and it's the third highest-grossing animated film at the point of this. So, fuck me, right? Like, this is just gonna be entertainment for the rest of our lives, huh? We have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers once again. I enjoyed this a lot more. You know what? No, I'll put it where it's fair. It's cool to see the cast reunited. I was a huge Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fan as a kid. This is the best acting they've ever done, but that's not saying much because it's still Disney channel levels of acting. The action choreography was fun and all. If you were a fan of this is a giant nostalgia trip. It's just like the Mario movie. They're basically on pair with each other. They're just fine, but it is cool to see the old cast get back together. Unfortunately, R.I.P. to Frank David James. No, fuck. What was his name? Hold on. What was his name? Jason David Frank. Okay. R.I.P. to Jason David Frank, the Green Power Ranger. Unfortunately, they filmed this like when he sadly passed away. It's very sad, and they pay respects to him and the Yellow Ranger in the movie. In fact, the Yellow Ranger, her daughter plays quite into the plot and stuff like that. Not her actual daughter, but like the daughter in the movie. But yeah, like nostalgia trip, and I'm not ashamed of it. It's just fine. It's pretty good. Probably won't watch it again, but it was good. Then we have Ant-Man Quantumanium. Jesus Christ, this was a piece of shit. I had to get drunk while watching this with a group of friends. There's nothing redeeming in these, especially the last Ant-Man and the Wasp movie. That one's probably worse than this because at least, again, Jonathan Mayers. I think this is the last time he's going to show up on this list. Jonathan Mayers, again, this movie came out before the allegations and stuff. Good actor, really intimidating in this, but that's all this movie has going for it. The CGI is awful, and it's just like I don't care about anything that's happening, and it's got really terrible dialogue. And I don't understand co-host of the show Peter for the Black Hudson channel. Like he for some reason he's like, I thought it was okay. No, this is unexcusable. This is garbage, and it shouldn't be pumped out. Now, Thor: The Dark World is obviously the worst MCU movie, but like Ant-Man and the Wasp and Ant-Man Quantumanium is right up there with it. That's like the top 3 worst ones. They're so bad. They're so pointless, especially with the uncertainty because of the Jonathan Mayer situation that we face now, because Kang might be written now or have a variant or something, in which case this movie means completely nothing. They pumped up this Ant-Man like, oh, you need to know what happens next, so you need to watch Ant-Man to know what happens to Kang, and he may not be even a factor anymore. So that what happens with these movies, you can never fucking predict shit that's gonna happen in the real world, and you can't just be like, oh, you gotta watch this shitty superhero movie in order to understand. Like, no, stop wasting my time. Marvel is wasting my time, and I don't care to see anything else in theaters, especially after this masterpiece Guardians Volume 3. This is one of my favorite superhero movies. It changed me to my core. You know, it's just so good. It sets up everything that James Gunn set up in the Guardians movies. The character payoffs are awesome. The way James Gunn handles the Gamora death, because I don't think that was in his original plan, like, it's just perfect. And this movie, like, I want to go see it again really, really bad. Rocket is a fantastic character. I'm not going to spoil anything, all non-spoiler stuff here, but it's that good. So everyone should go see it in the theaters. I know I don't like to support Marvel with my money, but in this case, I think it's okay. But I'm literally not going to see any other Marvel movies in theaters. I don't have the heart to care anymore. The next one is The Little Mermaid. I'm gonna put this in not my thing. I really like the Disney remakes. I don't think any of them are good. So like, if you want to put this in nope, go ahead. But like, it's just not my thing. I just don't feel the want or need for a remake. And no, I'm not putting this down here or dismissing it because of the actress's change of race. I am doing it because it's a Disney live action movie and all of them are shit. And I wish they would stop making them. But not to say that the music performance was bad or anything. It's just bland. It's just boring. And why? We have the original. Like, why do we need this? We don't need this. That's the real answer. But Disney is so out of ideas. They're just remaking all their classic movies. They're even remaking Moana, which is even a fucking decade old because The Rock doesn't have Black Adam anymore, so he's panicking, and now he's going back to the Fast and the Furious franchise, and he's going back to Disney. Like, I'll go back to you. Like, fuck Warner Brothers. I never meant to separate myself from you. Like, yeah, no, it's bad. All right, next one, The Oddball, Enola Holmes 2. I think this is probably the last one. Again, there's no particular order for the not my thing. It's just not my thing. I thought it was fine. I guess, but it's just I don't think it's fair to rate it because I don't particularly care for the franchise. Not to say that they're done bad or anything. It's just it ain't my cup of tea. It's like if like a rom-com showed up on any of my lists, I just put not my thing. It's just not my thing, Not to say they're done poorly or anything. It's just I don't care. Reservoir Dogs. Now, this is one of my favorite movies of all time, so I'm gonna have to put it in the top of God tier. Guardians might be knocked down by the end of this. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. But Reservoir Dogs is awesome. It's Quentin Tarantino's first movie, shortest movie, and it's just like it just goes like that. It's just like the pacing is so good, the acting amazing, and it's one of my favorite screenplays as well. It's the typical cop and robbers formula, but with a twist, and it's so entertaining. The soundtrack is good. The cinematography, come on, it's a Tarantino film. You already know that's on top. The dialogue, you already know it's on point. Like it's one of his like perfect movies. Like it is a perfect movie. It's awesome. It's just great. And yeah, and I would also say. I might have to rearrange this. But Dog Day Afternoon is heavily slept on. Dog Day Afternoon stars Al Pacino and Fredo from Godfather 2. I don't remember the actor's name. And it's a bank robbery movie. It takes place, these two guys are robbing a bank, and they hold hostages, and the police try to get them out. I think it's loosely based on a real story. And the whole movie is just that, just in one setting. And I just miss those types of movies where something's just in one setting and the characters need to figure out how to get out of that setting. Because then it forces, the screenwriter to write good dialogue and the director to deliver that dialogue and characteristics and stuff on screen. And it does it perfectly. And it's pretty progressive for its time. One of the bank robbers. Well, I won't spoil it, but like, you're like, oh, whoa, this movie was made in the 70s, and oh, okay. But yeah, no, this movie's awesome. It's like the whole movie is just like, oh, what is going to happen? Is one of them going to go insane and shoot up the whole place? Are they just going to play ball with the cops? What's going to happen? It is awesome. It's God tier. Mwah, perfect. Mwah, mwah, perfecto. Everyone should watch it. It's heavily slept on. Then we have E.T., Steven Spielberg. This movie's great, obviously. It's aged, definitely, but that doesn't necessarily make a movie bad. I mean, my favorite movie of all time is Alien, and one of the shots is just completely takes you out of the movie. But, it's one thing, and E.T. is campy and all that, and it's a little too long, but it's still got that Spielbergian, type of feeling of warmth and stuff. It's just, it's so good. The dude's a master at what he does. It's just so wholesome with the kids, and, great kid actors, too. And, yeah, it's one of the best movies. I would put it, highly recommended, yeah. Yeah, no, it's really good, and every single person should watch it, ever. Then we have what the fuck is this one called? It's another Spielberg one. Shit. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. This one's really good. It's like an alien invasion movie where the aliens aren't menacing and there's no military or guns or anything like that. And it's a fascinating character study. It's a little at some points, but I would put it on top of great. Again, Spielberg is awesome. I wouldn't highly recommend it. It's not like you have to see this, but if you're a fan of Spielberg, definitely give it a watch. And yeah, a little campy, a little corny, but it's a throwback to the early 1950s alien evasion shows and movies and stuff, but with a twist. So that's all I'll say about that. Heat is awesome. Very long. It's I think nearly 3 hours long. So if you have a day off, great. It's got Al Pacino and Robert De Niro fucking just going at it. Again, a lot of cop and robbers movies, the Robert De Niro group is bank robbers, and Al Pacino's just a fed up cop. He's like, okay, what's going on here? That's every scene in this fucking movie is Robert De Niro and his crew leave a crime scene, and Al Pacino just goes in and he's like, okay, does someone want to tell me what the fuck is going on here? And it's just great. It's just fucking fantastic. Robert De Niro just playing the cool guy I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. And Al Pacino's like, you the fuck know what I'm fucking talking about. It's so good. The two actors are just eating entire scenes up. Their directing is kind of a drawback. It's not super well directed. Really, it's just the actors and the action that kind of are the selling point. But yeah, no, Heat is awesome. Everyone should go check it out. The Lincoln Lawyer, I honestly thought this was fine. The ending was super rushed, and I think it was based on a book, so that's probably obviously why. It's got Jesus Christ. Oh, what is his name? Matthew McConaughey. It's got Matthew McConaughey as a lawyer, and he's like, all right, and that's the whole movie. Just kind of a scummy lawyer who does anything to win a case. But it's still pretty good. Let me get some water and hydrate. It's fine. It's on Netflix. If you're bored one day, I guess watch it if it's interesting to you. Next up is Sicario. This is directed by Danny Villeneuve. I highly recommend this fucking movie. Let's jump in the gun a little bit. I highly recommend this movie. It is so good. It's got one of the most chilling performances. I'm blanking on the actor's name right now, but it's just so good. It's got Emily Blunt in it, and she's great in it. It's all about U.S. territory and what the U.S. secretly does, and how crime and terrorism will still continue on no matter how hard we try, kind of thing. It's very depressing and very dark and very realistic, but everyone should give it a watch. It's awesome. Then we have the Sherlock Holmes movie with Robert De Niro. I thought it was fine. I thought it was okay. It has a cool scene where like Robert De Niro's fighting something. He's like, okay, dislocate shoulder here, kind of thing. It's got a fascinating mystery to it. And it's pretty well directed, but I just think it's okay. It's fine. It's good. Like if it's on TNT in the middle of the day, yeah, pop that shit on, dude. No one's gonna. But I'm not gonna say it's great. Apparently they are thinking about making a third one, which is surprising. But because the second one came out like years ago. But yeah. And then we have the first Creed. This is probably the only Creed I will highly recommend. It is very good. Michael B. Jordan does a great job. Sylvester Stallone does a great job of passing a torch to Michael B. Jordan to create the new franchise. It's very good. The action sequences, like there's one long shot of just a boxing match, and it's really cool. And yeah, I feel like a lot of people give them their all in this movie. It's really good. I highly recommend it. Then we have Creed 2. I think it's great. I don't think it's as good as 3 or 1. But still pretty entertaining. Actually, I had more fun watching Evil Dead Rises. I'm not even going front. But this one, he goes up against Drago. It more so plays off of the Rocky Balboa stuff. Whereas like Creed 1 felt like it was like trying to be like, no, Creed's kind of his own thing, but Sylvester Stallone wanted it to keep it like it's still part of the Rocky franchise. And then 3 just proved that like Creed could be its own thing, but it ended. Or at least from how the movie ended, it seemed like there's going to be no more Creed. All right. Next up, we got the John Wick movies, baby. I'm going to put John Wick 1. Highly recommend. Everyone should watch this first movie. It's my favorite John Wick. John Wick 4 is just as good. Yeah, I'll put him like right here. It's just as good. It's really, really a toss up, but like John Wick 1 is just so cool with like the dialogue just being like, John Wick is not the boogeyman. You send John Wick to kill the boogeyman. Oh. And they play like the same Marilyn Manson soundtrack that we're killing strangers, and it never gets old. Like the action is just so good. And John Wick, the first John Wick, you have to understand, even though the plot and everything isn't like grandiose or anything like that, and it's just kind of it's generic action movie, but the way it's shot and choreographed is why you go see those movies. It's awesome. Excuse me. But yeah, no, the first John Wick is awesome. Everyone should see it at least once. And once you see it once, then if you really liked it, continue on with the rest of the series. If you didn't, it's not for you. Perfectly fine. Then we have John Wick 2. This is like the weaker ones. Where would I put this? I probably put this like right here. It's still great. Oh, no. It's still great and I like it. I want to highly recommend it. I mean, obviously, if you watch the whole series, you're going to have to watch it. But I think it's great. It's just a little slow pace for a John Wick movie and like getting integral with the plot and stuff. I'm like, no. We're here for Keanu saying stuff like, yeah, I think I'm going to need a gun. Like, that's what we're here for. Let's be honest. We're here for Keanu kicking butt. My theory is John Wick is just Neo in the Matrix. That's my theory, and you can't disprove me. That was a side tangent. I apologize. But yeah, this movie's just okay. John Wick 3 is also really good. I'm gonna put it above John Wick 2. It's got great action pieces and stuff like that. It just kind of drags toward the end and stuff like that. But still fun action, and has some of the best kills, like that knife fight scene where like John Wick gets trapped in like an antique shop or whatever, and there's just a bunch of knives and like 4 other dudes come in. So he breaks the glass of like a knife display and just starts chucking knives. It's so good. Everything Everywhere at Once. I will put this. Highly recommend. Yeah, it's better. I would say it's better. I highly recommend with a giant asterisk that if you're not into artsy fartsy films, you're not gonna like this movie, like at all. But it is good. The only thing, it's like 2 hours and 20 minutes. Didn't need the extra 20 minutes. You could have just cut it at a sweet 2 hours, and it drags a little bit, but it's very good. It's worth the hype. Everyone's performance is great in it. It's unfortunate that the actress who plays the daughter didn't get the supporting actress role. It went to Jamie Lee Curtis, which I love Jamie Lee Curtis, but that was not deserved. Like, it should have gone to the actress who played the daughter. But she's going to be in a number of things. She's going to do great things, I'm sure. But the David brothers, really awesome. Emotional movie. Like, if you have any like parental problems, this is going to bring up some wounds. But yeah, no, awesome, great, highly recommend. If you're into artsy fartsy, if you ain't, you're not gonna get it. Just move on. Then we have Dune. I'm gonna put this above, even though it might be a better film. I'm so shocked that this movie is so good, and the second part is coming out soon. And like, Danny Devil, my boy, you showed up. Highly recommend twice already. You just make really good movies. Dune is awesome. Like, the dialogue and the directing and costume design and world building is so good, where a general audience can understand Dune. Because if you give a regular Joe Schmo Dune, they'll come back at you and be like, what the fuck is going on, man? So sci-fi nerds have struggled. Like, they can never make a wide appealing Dune movie, especially since that David Fincher movie. But like, god damn, this movie fucking is awesome. I've seen it like 3 other times. Just awesome. Did you hear me? I went, because it's just so good. I love Dune. I love everything about Dune. The second part, even more shit's gonna happen. Part 1 was just the setup. Part 2 is the payoff. And I hope they do an adaptation of Dune Messiah. And if they stopped there, that'd be fine. If they did Children of Dune, okay. They're not gonna go past that. We're not gonna get God Emperor Dune. That's basically a giant. Just to not spoil anything, a giant worm is the main character, and it's like, what the fuck. But yeah, the first Dune movie, awesome. Hope it makes a bajillion gazillion fucking dollars, the second one. And yeah, everyone should watch Dune, at least to see if you're into it. It's Game of I hate saying this because Dune came out first before the Game of Thrones or A Song of Ice and Fire books were written. And Dune inspired Star Wars. That novel definitely inspired Star Wars. But like, if you like the Game of Thrones show, but you want it in a sci-fi setting, bam, here you go. I hate saying that, but there is a ring of truth to it. Then we have the first Planet of the Apes movie. I'm going to put this on personal enjoyment, like right there. It's great. It's a classic B-movie sci-fi stuff. The ending is very iconic. It's like a fucking 50/60-year-old movie. I'm just gonna spoil the ending. So the dude, he thinks he and his crew landed on a different planet full of apes. Turns out it was planet Earth all along. What? But that's still such an amazing reveal, and it's a great somber way to end that, with just like there's a chill down my spine after that one. And like, they actually have like politics in this, and it's a giant political commentary about how we treat lower class people and stuff like that, and about religion and the downsides to it. It's so good, and I plan to watching all the originals and the remakes because I love this B-movie schlock. It's so good. But all right, next up, I'm not even gonna front. Listen, y'all. Listen to me. Hey, actually, no, this is above. Can you listen to me? You know what? That's a little harsh. Yeah, I'll put it in not good. Yeah, top of not good. Yeah. I realize TikTok has brainwashed you into thinking the prequels were actually good. They're not. some of them have good moments, but overall they're not fucking good movies. They're really fucking bad. And I showed this to my girlfriend. And I thought she was gonna like it a lot more because she likes like kid characters and stuff. So I thought she was gonna love Anakin. She just found him fucking annoying, and the dialogue is bland and boring. Everyone talks like a fucking cardboard piece. I mean, you've heard the criticisms all along. I feel like I don't even need to explain to myself, but it's just a boring fucking movie. It's just so fucking boring. And even to this day, I have no idea what the fuck is going on in that movie. Then we have The Menu, which came out, I believe, 2022. This movie was actually surprisingly good. I would put it like right here. It's better than fucking Knives Out, that's for sure. It's like a like twisted like fantasy, or not twisted fantasy, twisted horror thing where it's basically the chef who like serve his biggest critics and stuff like that his food, and he plans on basically killing them all as his grand kind of statement or whatever. It's very pretentious, but like this was so fucking funny. Like, you wouldn't think it from the trailers. You think it plays straightforward, but that's the funny part of the movie is how straightforward they play it. Whereas Knives Out is like, oh, isn't this funny? Isn't this cool? Look at that Batista. Like, it's so obvious and stuff where like everyone plays it straight in the menu, and that's what makes it like darkly funny. I thought it was really well done. I thought it was excellent. It's not a strong recommend. I wouldn't recommend this to just anyone, you know. Like, you have to be kind of in the mood for it. But it's seriously great. And the performance is just so good. The next one up is The Green Knight. I was kind of disappointed by this one. I'm going to put in fine. It just, like, the ending was just kind of meh. And, which I was kind of disappointed about because I heard hype for this. It's an authorial tale, but done very cynically. The props and the cinematography and everything are really good. Just the plot and story just really boring, and like even some of the characteristics are just boring. It's supposed to like read kind of like an Odyssey. Oh fuck, did I not put Beau is Afraid in this? Oh shit, I gotta remember to put that in next time. Fuck, I knew I forgot fucking one. I fucking knew it. All right, that's gonna be in the next one. But like, Beau is Afraid it does a better job of like an Odyssey type fairy tale than The Green Knight. Like, it's a step above. God damn it. Fuck, I knew I forgot something. Fuck it. Anyways, The Green Knight is just fine from A24 standards. Again, costume design, production, really good. It's just the plotting of it. And even the writing's good. Just the plot is just bleh, and like the main character is just bleh. But yeah. Then we have The Northman, which is a high recommendation from me, baby. Yeah. This just fuels my masculine energy. Like, it's just so good. And Robert Eggers does a great job in period pieces. Also, I'm a giant sucker for like Norse mythology and like Viking era stuff. So like, yeah, this is a high recommendation for me. It's so good. I already talked about it in my previous tier list video, so check that out. But yeah, Northman is awesome, and if you haven't seen it, definite recommend. It's a little weird, again, A24 movie, but like, it's still awesome. Then we have The Grand Budapest Hotel. I'm gonna put this on top of great. I wouldn't just recommend this to anyone. Like, with Everything Everywhere at Once in Northman, you can kind of get a general audience kind of thing, and even personal enjoyment wise, I think Grand Budapest Hotel is really good. It's one of Wes Anderson's better movies. However, Wes Anderson, those stop motion movies, I think are the best things he's ever made, and that might be a hot take, but those things are fucking awesome. Like, I love Fantastic Mr. Fox, I love Isle of Dogs. Those are like my top favorite movies of all time. Grand Budapest, it overstays its welcome a little bit. And if you're not into the Wes Anderson type of humor, it can be grating. So that's why I want to highly recommend it. But yeah, no, I think Grand Budapest Hotel, still great fucking movie. I still rate it like an 8 or 9 out of 10. I just can't put it on willy-nilly, Whereas the highly recommended ones, I could put on whatever the fuck I want, And God tier, I mean, you know it, baby. Anyways, next up, Evil Dead 2. God, I watched a lot of good movies this year. Evil Dead was really fucking entertaining. Let's see here. Yeah. If you're gonna watch a horror movie, if you have watched horror movies and you haven't seen Evil Dead 2, you have to watch Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2 is like it's like horror, like it's like gore stick comedy. It's just blood for no fucking reason, but it's like done so masterfully. Like I could rewatch this movie over and over again. It's just campy fun, but also has really good horror aspects to it. It was one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I mean, it's just mwah, chef's kiss, mwah mwah. Army of Darkness, I did not like at all. I even go far as say it wasn't very good. I just don't understand. Like, it's just not scary, and like I don't understand this director. It's just like goofy antics. Now, Ash vs. the Evil Dead, the TV show, has a perfect balance of this. Army of Darkness doesn't really, and it didn't fucking click with me. It's not terrible. It's just it didn't fucking click with me. So I'm just gonna leave it at not good. Call me sacrilegious, call me what you will, but that's just my opinion. The 2013 Evil Dead reboot, I think, is just fine. It's got great gore in it and stuff, but you don't really care about any of the characters. You're just there to see them kill each other. The only thing that's like takes it above those types of movies is like the kills are really creative and done practically. But besides that, there's nothing really much of substance here. Yeah. And then we have Scream, the very first Scream. I would put this on top of great. Scream is also one of my favorite horror movies, probably in my top like 20, I would say. Just the mystery, and that when you first see that like ending, the whodunit, it's like so shocking. You're like, oh, this is done really smart. And it's directed by Wes Craven, the director of Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, it's so fucking good. And it's a classic, and no other Scream movie will ever beat it. It's got great meta jokes. That's not like, the audience, pay attention. It's like, it's meta, but like not in a cringy way. And it's just an enjoyable movie. I could just watch the first Scream anytime I want. It's just that much fun. Then we have Urban Legends. This is a piece of dog shit. This is like the shittiest of the shittiest. I watched it with my friend Spencer. Shout out to Spencer. It's just nothing. It's a whole nothing burger. I don't even want to get into it. Don't even bother with it. I don't fucking care. It sucks ass. Then we have Shin Godzilla, baby. I'm gonna highly recommend this right here. It's not just a good Godzilla movie. It's also a... Fuck, I didn't put Shin Ultraman. Oh my god, I missed so much. Well, I missed 2 fucking movies. God, I gotta fucking remind myself. I gotta write this shit down. But yeah, Shin Godzilla was really, really good. It's basically a political commentary, just like the very first Godzilla movie was, and that movie's one of my favorite movies, masterpiece. Shin Godzilla is pretty close to but it's basically a commentary of what happened with that tornado a couple years back that Tokyo faced, and how the government like failed to prevent that. And like it's from Hideaki Anno, the guy who made fucking Evangelion, one of my favorite animes. And Godzilla is a metaphor for that Tokyo tornado, and sorry, not tornado, tsunami. And it's just done so expertly well, and it takes Godzilla, makes him like fucking scary again and mysterious, which was what the first one captured, and then after that they made it more action based and stuff like that. But this one keeps the soul of Godzilla alive, and I don't want to see a sequel to it because I think it ended perfectly, and it's a nearly flawless fucking Godzilla movie, and just a great movie in general. So highly recommend. Everyone should definitely fucking watch it. Subbed only. Then we have the first Guardians movie. I think this is. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, let me change that real quick. Let me change. No, you know what? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it looks right. The first Guardians movie, obviously, great movie from the MCU. One of my favorite comic book movies of all time. Watching it now, it's definitely dated, but that's only because the Guardians movie, literally, like, Marvel did such a stupid move of firing James Gunn, and now James Gunn is leaving to go to Warner Brothers after he made the best MCU. Guardians 3 is the best MCU movie, just hands down. And what am I saying? I'm blanking out here. Okay, all right, yeah, I got it. Guardians of the Galaxy is, it was the trendsetter for, like, all Marvel movies have to have, like, humor now, and they all copy James Gunn's flavor, but they never quite nailed the taste. Oh, that was pretty fucking good. This movie just goes to show that, because after this, like, all the other Marvel movies try to capture what James Gunn did, but didn't quite do it well, and it just goes to show how much of a master filmmaker James Gunn is, to make a fucking MCU movie good. But yeah, Guardians 2, I've lightened up a little bit. It's still honestly not my favorite. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll put it there. Nah, fuck it, actually. Yeah, that seems about right. Guardians 2 is just like okay for me. I get it. It's all about like fatherhood and stuff like that. But like the Star-Lord plot where he's like, "Oh, you're the interdimensional fucking being that has all this power." It's like, what the fuck? No, that's fucking stupid. But the cinematography is very good in it too. I still think it's great. I just don't think it's like as good as the first Guardians or the third one. But yeah, the very first Spider-Man movie, I would say this is great. Meh. No. Yeah. First Spider-Man movie is just so good, by Tobey Maguire. Now, obviously, this is also coming from a bit of a nostalgia place because these movies are quite dated, but it's still just a lot of fun to watch. And Sam Raimi is a master filmmaker. And let's just not butt any heads here. I would put Spider-Man 2, obviously, very high up there. They're great fucking movies. You know what? Let me move some of this around. Yeah, I'm going to move. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. That was early on in the list. I think I agree with that more. Yeah, that seems about right. Where was I? Yeah, the first Spider-Man, awesome. Willem Dafoe's performance is a knockout hit. And then Spider-Man 2, it's the first time a superhero movie was like, hey, let's talk about Peter Parker, you know, the person behind the mask instead of just Spider-Man. And the excellent framing, like that shot with Doc Ock where, there's a shot of Spider-Man swinging and it's all through the reflection of Doc Ock's glasses. Super good. Honestly, if you want to see my opinions on the Spider-Man movies, I made a tier list over at the Black Hudson channel that you should definitely go check out. Link in the description below. But yeah, I don't want to get into too much detail because you should go watch that live stream or video. But yeah, it's great. 10 out of 10. Maybe not a 10 out of 10, but pretty good. All right. Now we are into the... Actually, let me do Dark Knight. I kind of want to... The Dark Knight, obviously, high recommendation. Yay. Masterful filmmaking. Really great movie. I think it's bumped down a little bit for me. It's like it very much relies heavy on the Joker's plan, and then you realize that the Joker's plan isn't relies on a lot of coincidences, but that's just kind of the Joker in general. I'm gonna put this on. I'm not even gonna front you. This is god tier. It's a fucking great movie. Like, even with those criticisms, it's still so fucking good. In every way, shape, and form. I would put it. Yeah, you know what? No, I think it's better than Guardians 3. But yeah, masterclass filmmaking. Even the Academy couldn't fucking ignore this shit. I mean, what am I gonna say that's gonna, convince you even more to watch The Dark Knight? If you haven't watched The Dark Knight, what the fuck is wrong with you? Turn it on right now. Like, it's top 5 superhero movies. I love it. It's fantastic. I think there's one superhero movie that's better that I know I'm going to piss a lot of people off. Listen, I'm a DC fan, but even I got to admit this shit is good. All right. Next up, we have Red Son Superman. I thought this was okay. I thought I enjoyed it a little bit more than that. Yeah, it's just like, what if Superman landed in the Soviet Union during that time when Stalin was around? And answer is, he would turn into a dictator and an asshole. This movie does pretty well. I still prefer the comic book version. Like, I wouldn't say, like, with The Dark Knight Returns, with my friend Mark Keith, he just watched the movie, so I feel like he doesn't really need the comic book because he pretty much gets the gist of it. Whereas, like, Superman Red Son, I would be like, nah, still read the comic book, because, they change a lot in the movie, and some of it's not for the better, and the animation isn't really that. And none of these, like, DC animated movies have to have amazing production or animation quality, but, like, sometimes it is noticeable, especially with Superman Red Son, where it's very action orientated, where you're like, I saw where you cut some corners here and there. But I think it's fine. I think it's okay. Batman Year One is really good. Again, I would say read Batman Year One. Don't just watch the movie. But the movie is very good. It's Batman's first year on the job. And I think it's a fine adaptation. I think it is perfectly suitable. And very good for general audiences to see a Batman animated movie, but also movie in general, where, like, he's not up against a super powered villain. He's just up against regular crime and the corrupt police system. And Jim Gordon is also a great character in this. It's also an exploration that, if you want to know, like, the Batman basics, like, this is your movie to go to. I just think, again, it's fine, and the animation isn't great, but it's not so reliant on action. It's more of a drama than anything else. But yeah, no, Batman Year One is fine. And I watched a lot of these DC animated films. Number one, because I love the DC animated films, and during this time, I was building a lot of Legos, and, like, I just put, like, DC animated movies on in the background. So yeah, I also didn't put Under the Red Hood here, motherfucker. Okay, I gotta fucking, like, add these on. Okay, now we have Justice League Doom. I think this is fine. It's like, yeah, it's just an adaptation of Tower of Babel without saying it's the adaptation, without the Grant Morrison as stuff. Basically, Batman has a contingency plan for all the Justice League members. Someone finds these plans and then uses all types of villains against Justice League. It's all right. It's fine. Batman Beyond: The Return of the Joker. I thought this was really good. It has some of the best animated Batman moments. I would say this is probably, like, right around here. No. Right around here. It's great. The voice acting is great. The plot twist is awesome. And the animation is spectacular. It's very pretty and appealing to look at. Yeah, Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker. It's awesome, especially if you're a Batman Beyond fan like myself. I grew up with the show. It's great. Then we have Justice League New Frontier. I'm going to bump that baby right up here. Fuck it, yeah. Honestly, this does such a great job of adapting one of the best DC stories of all time. and it's like, you know what? No, I can't. That's just the inner fanboy in me. Nah, I like it more than Guardians. Yeah, right there. That's fine. New Frontier is really good. It's a great introduction to the DC universe as well. It's like an alternative like history of like the Silver Age comic books, but in a more mature way. It's like the Watchmen of DC. I mean, like, yeah, Watchmen is part of DC, but it's outside of DC continuity, obviously. Whereas like New Frontier is inside DC continuity, and it understands these characters so perfectly well and does a deconstruction of them well. And it's also one of the best Green Lantern fucking stories. It's a low-key Green Lantern story that's hidden in there. So obviously, look at me. I'm a Green Lantern fanboy, so obviously I love this fucking movie. It's great. I would still read the comic book just because the art is amazing. And so is the writing, but the movie's just as good, and it captures the spirit perfectly. Then we have Batman Dracula. I thought this was fine. It's weird that it's like a kid's movie, but it's still fucking kind of creepy in some areas. I remember being genuinely like creeped out by this movie when I was a kid. But yeah, I mean, if you liked the Batman TV show, you'll like this. If you didn't, maybe watch this, and if you like it, you'll get into the TV show. But it's just an odd combination when you think about it. But then, like, you realize, like, Batman vs. Dracula kind of makes sense, low-key. They're both creatures of the night, except one feasts on the innocent and one protects the innocent. God, I am so good with these fucking one-liners. God damn. But yeah. Then we have the Super Sons. I'm going to put this at, like, bottom 5. It's a little bit better than that. This is ideally what I want, but, like, on a major motion picture level of John Damian. I want a Super Sons movie, but with the production of Spider-Verse, basically, from Warner Brothers. Not Super Dog League of Pets. Like, I want this type of movie with a better script and a better production, because right now it's just kind of meh. Like, I took nothing away from it. It's just whatever. The voice acting was fine and everything like that. It's just the plot was just like, who the fuck? Okay, like, sure, yeah, Starro mind controls a bunch of Justice League members. That's cool and all, but just the pacing and the way they executed it was just very like TV animated movie type of feeling. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, next one up, Superman versus the Elite. This is like the ultimate Superman story. It's basically it was a commentary at the time. It's based on a comic book called, and obviously they called it Superman versus the Elite because the full comic book's title is Whatever Happened to the American Dream, something yada yada yada, which I think is a play off of like a song or something like that. But it's like a really long title, so they just, for the anime movie, they changed it to Superman versus the Elite. And this, like, if you want to show someone, like, why isn't Superman just super overpowered and just take over everything and, like, yada, 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 like, he's not an interesting character, show them this movie, and then if they change their ways, then they're a smart person and they've grown as a person. If not, then they're fucking idiots. But, yeah, this just shows that, like, Superman is, like, Superman. No, it just shows that he's one of the best people mankind has ever seen, and he just has this. He's faced up against 90s comics. He's faced up against like the Authority. Okay, in fact, people are theorizing that this new Superman movie, the villains might be the Authority, which would be really interesting. But instead of using the Elite, they would use the Authority for the live action version and kind of tie that into the whole DC universe. And I think that's a great idea, because I think now more than ever, people are like, I want Batman, I want dark, I want scary and stuff. And they're like, Superman's lame because he's just happy and stuff. And like, that's not always the case. And we want someone like a Superman. That's what we really want. And the Elite challenges Superman because they're like, yeah, we kill and stuff, but it's for the betterment of mankind. And of course, modern day mankind is like, yeah, we should we should fucking just kill the Joker kind of thing, or just kill anyone. Like, I don't have a problem with the elite. And Superman has to tackle that. He's like, no, that's not morally right. But he feels like the whole world is against him, where all this time he feels like it's been his best ally. So, yeah, it's really good. Then Spider-Verse, baby, don't even start with me. Don't even fucking start with me. Spider-Verse is so good. You know when a movie's good? When it influences other things, like Puss in Boots, which is on here, like the animation style. Like, the animation industry has now shifted to, like, instead of shitty, just always 3D stuff, now to put in effort with like 2D/3D. That's why we see like the new Ninja Turtles movie right now in that similar kind of art style. Like, this movie changed just movies in general, and it's great. And I'm gonna rewatch it before I watch the new movie on Saturday, and I'm super fucking stoked about that. You know, the cinematography is great, the animation is fantastic, the voice acting is good, the story's awesome. I mean, you have Miles Morales on all the posters with the costume and stuff, and he doesn't get it until the last 30 minutes because throughout all that runtime, he earns the fucking costume toward the end of that movie. And it captures the essence of Spider-Man so perfectly that, like, Spider-Man 2 and any other live action Spider-Man has not captured since. And I remember specifically sitting in that theater, and I turned to my friends after the movie I just fucking witnessed, and I was like, this is the best Spider-Man movie. And one of them was like, nah, man, Homecoming's better. I'm like, shut the fuck up. This movie is a godsend. And I knew right away. And I've rewatched this movie so many times, countless times, an annoying amount of times. And it still gets me teared up. I also saw it in the live concert edition that was in Brooklyn, where they had a whole orchestra and everything. And that just, the feels like hearing the actual music score and stuff. Oh, it was so good. But just even without that, it's still such a good movie. Yeah. And then the original Hercules movie, I think this is one of my favorite Disney movies. Yeah, I put it like there. I love Hercules. It's such a good fucking movie. Such a good animated movie. Does Greek mythology in a really funny and entertaining way. And I want more Greek mythology stuff. You know, we got to get Greek mythology back. You know, superheroes are the main thing. Maybe we got to do mythology for our next thing. That Hollywood needs to tackle, because you could do anything with the Greek mythology shit. No one's gonna complain. But yeah, Hercules, awesome music, great fun, 10 out of 10. Lilo and Stitch, also very good. I would put it like right below Guardians. It's Lilo and Stitch. It's good. I think The Little Mermaid's fine. It's got a good score, but like, it suffers from like old Disney syndrome, where it's just like not really interesting except for the music stores, and it's a classic fairy tale and stuff, but it's all right. And then last but not least, we have Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. No one expected this movie to be good. I highly goddamn recommend it. Yes, I recommend it more than fucking Heat. Everyone needs to see this movie. Yes, it has a realistic version of a panic attack, which has kind of been a ongoing meme. But yeah, I'm gonna fucking move this piece of shit down. I'm gonna fucking fuck this fucking movie. Even Super Sons, it wasn't that good. Hold on, let me just reorganize this shit real quick. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, okay. What the fuck was? Puss in Boots. Puss in Boots is really good. It's got great animation, great story, great voice acting, and stuff like that. Yeah, and it's just a blast to watch. I saw this movie like twice. Like, I remember I was like, babe, do you want to go see Ant-Man? And she was like, can we watch Puss in Boots instead again? I'm like, yes, we can watch Puss in Boots instead again. The score is amazing. Death, I mean, oh my god, that character is so fucking hype. I love that. Like, I saw TikToks of him. I'm like, this is my boy right here. I love the design and everything like that. Like, I only saw Ant-Man once it came out on Disney Plus, and I got shit-faced drunk. And I'm so glad I saw Puss in Boots again instead of that fucking dog shit movie. But yeah, so this is my list so far. I have a top 5 up there. That's more than likely going to change with the rest of the movies I'm going to watch this year. But honestly, oh shit. Oh, thank God. Um, but honestly, more positives than negatives this year round. I feel like. I feel like all these movies are really good, and obviously the highly recommended, I highly recommend. Great are also great movies, and the rest below you can pick and choose whatever you want to do. So that's gonna be the video. Thank you guys so much. Next up is probably video games or comic books, and then I gotta do manga. So just expect all this month to have like a tier list a week, pretty much. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.